Hey guys, it's Morgan coming to you with another carburetor video. Actually, our good friend Foxy Bibbs, who brought us the Billatron for us to take apart, and we rode, and it's awesome and whatever. Also brought us a Kehin PWK with the STIC mod done to it, the super torque, blah blah. Anyway, whatever. The thing we all keep reading about on the internet, see comments about on the internet, all that stuff, it's the STIC. I am going to disassemble this thing and show you guys exactly what that means. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright guys, first things first, this is a 38mm Kehin PWK carburetor. It's the same version that came off of the older KTMs, the 16s and earlier. So the top is shaped like this and not like the screw-on style. It's already been ground down up here to accept a normal throttle cable. Really, from the outside, it looks just like a normal Kehin PWK. Really no big difference, except for these big stickers everywhere. Let's take this thing apart and show you exactly what the difference is. So we'll start with the top. There we go. So the slide, identical to any other slide, just a normal Kehin slide. It's a number, it's interesting, it's a number 6.5, which is actually a richer slide than what I've ever run in my Yamahas. But yeah, that's really interesting they run that, because I usually run a number 8 up here at elevation, a 7 at sea level. So it's got a JD needle in it. We'll go into that later, but JD makes a setup just for the STIC modded carburetor. So it's got a JD needle in it. I'm guessing it's the red. We'll take it apart later, but that's really doesn't have anything to do with the STIC part. Okay, so the first thing that you can tell that this is different than a normal one is if you look in there, you see where that needle would drop down into. That is the jet block, and you can see that emulsion tube sticking up. That looks different from a normal one. So I'm going to grab all this stuff and show you guys, because I have the stock parts. I'll show you the difference between the two. But so that is definitely different. Also, it looks like this has been machined. The pilot jet port looks a little bit different, maybe machined out a little bit. All right, float bowl, obviously the same. Now, here is where you're starting to see a big difference. So this is not at all what the normal jet block looks like on the other one. This is very, very different look. It's all billet aluminum. It's got some machining marks on it. We're going to pull all this out so you can see it. But float out of the way. So there we go. There's the jet block. Now here is the old jet block. So again, I'm going to pull them all out so you can see them up close and personal. But this is the old jet block, how it goes in. That's the new one, the STIC jet block. So obviously very different. This is a cast piece from Kehin. This is a billet machine piece. So it says made in the USA. It says STIC-DVI patent blah blah blah, made in the US. So this is what they call it, the jet block, because it holds the jet. The main jet goes here, pilot jet goes here. This is the emulsion tube is actually kind of, it's up inside here. You can't really change it on these. And then the little, I don't know what you call this part, but the ridge where the venturi, where the air comes across to then draw fuel out, is all cast and part of it. So now let's get this thing out of here. All right, there we go, guys. There is the STIC metering block, or jet block, metering block, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, the biggest difference we notice at first is this is billet and shiny and pretty, and this is not. A lot of similarities here. A lot of it looks identical. You know, this curve here has to be the same because that's what matches up in the venturi of the carburetor. It looks like this casting here, these kind of ribs, are really just to support these bump outs to hold the thing in. So that's just, like I said, a support to make sure that doesn't break when you bolt it down. This doesn't need that since it's billet aluminum. When we come down here, you can see that the STIC has these grooves. There we go, machined into it. I'm assuming that's for the picking up of gas, making that better. I don't really know exactly what that would do, why that would be a whole lot better, because that's down in the fuel. But maybe it does something. I mean, obviously it does something, because Kehin puts holes right in here, and this doesn't have those holes, but it's got the cuts, so there's something to do with picking up fuel. Also, I think one of the biggest differences is that this emulsion tube isn't really removable. I'm sure I can maybe push it out of there, but I'm not going to try. It looks like it's been staked in. It's going to be hard for you guys to see that, but it looks like it's been staked in there and it's done. It can't be moved. And what that does, that emulsion tube is what allows air to come in and mix with the fuel as it's coming up through, because this is where the main jet, you know, that's the main jet, comes up and out that hole, and the needle sits like this. And so as we pull up and out, that needle is getting thinner. That's the taper of the needle, like they talk about. So as it comes up, it gets thinner and out of the way more and more and more until it's, you know, basically all the way out of the way. And that emulsion tube looks like this. I'm not going to pull. There's really no reason to pull this one out, but this is what that looks like. And see these holes? That, as the gas is coming up, those are letting air come in and mix with the gas and atomize better. And where that's coming in is through these holes here. Try to show you how this works. So this goes up in here. So look at these holes here. So they go up and in. So the air is coming from this side of the carburetor through here, and the motor's over here. So it comes in. This needle right here is the air screw. So that's what's, you know, metering the air as it comes in. On a two-stroke, you're metering the air with the air screw, not fuel. So you're choosing how much air goes into the situation instead of choosing how much fuel. So that goes in through there, into this hole, and then comes out this hole for the pilot circuit. Okay? And then the little hole here is that's the air that just passes past that screw, goes straight in, and that's what comes in here, comes down and goes in through those holes and mixes with the fuel and helps it atomize and come out. So from what I can tell, the big difference is that this emulsion tube is a much better emulsion tube on the stick, and these grooves, I'm sure, have something to do with picking up gas that's going to atomize the fuel, then therefore making it more efficient burn. So seems legit. Seems like it should work pretty good. Foxy Bibs never really was all that happy with it. He made it work okay, but he felt like he was spending too much time messing with it. So I don't know if there's anything wrong with it. It doesn't look like it. It looks like it's in perfect condition. So I don't know, but we're gonna try it out for you guys. So let me put it back together and we'll kind of go over everything again. Alright guys, there we go. There is the stick modified Kehin PWK. Hopefully that was an informative video. You guys can see what the real differences are. This is really the only different piece, but it is a very important piece. It's where all the fuel comes up into the venturi of the carburetor. So like I said, I think guys, the real big difference is that emulsion tube. I'm kind of looking down in there. I really don't see any holes in the emulsion tube here. So there must be, because there's the same kind of holes going into the jet block. This one obviously is the bigger ones for the pilot circuit, but on the other one it's a lot bigger hole, and I'm guessing that's because it just kind of dumps in their air and doesn't really do a good job of atomizing. So anyway, I hope that was informative. Comment below if you have any other questions. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be putting that on at least my 300. I might try it on the 125, although I really like the way the 125 is running. Oh, also, hold on real fast. It looks like, so it also looks like, guys, they've machined the inside of the throttle. See how that, so that's definitely different from stock. That's not, it didn't start off like that, so I'm not sure what they've done. It looks like maybe because the outside is not machined, so maybe they neck it down as it like comes this way, necks down. You know, it goes bigger out that way to then make a higher speed velocity through there. I'm not sure what that's all about, but definitely looks different. So I know that you send them the whole carburetor, send the whole thing back, so it looks like they definitely machined that. That would help. So anyway, hope you guys like that.